Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Love and Courageous. I'm your host, Demetrius, and today I will be talking about Jada Pinkett Smith, the actress that said that her and her husband, Will Smith, has been separated since 2016. Now, before I get to talking about that, I will basically do a run through of their whole entire relationship. So, Jada and Will Smith actually met when Jada went to audition for a role at the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Jada did not get the role. Will Smith asked his Fresh Prince co-star, Alfonso Ribeiro, if he can set Will and Jada on a date. Now, Will Smith said that he went to a taping of the TV show A Different World, which Jada Pinkett Smith was actually playing on. He originally wanted to go there to meet her, but he actually ended up meeting his first wife, Cherie Fletcher Zappino. The couple eventually got married but got a divorce in 1995 when Cherie filed for divorce on Valentine's Day. After his divorce, Will Smith reached out to Jada Pinkett and started dating before tying the knot in 1997 when Jada was 3 months pregnant with their son, Jaden Smith. Then they welcomed their daughter, Willow Smith, in 2000. On the Red Table Talk, Jada said that she never wanted to get married and felt pressure by her mother to walk down the aisle. She said, I was under so much pressure being a young actress and pregnant, and I didn't know what to do. She also continued by saying, I was so upset that I had to have a wedding. I was so pissed. I went crying down the freaking aisle getting married. Her mother later apologized to her for not respecting her daughter's wishes. But on the NBC News primetime special, Jada actually told hold a copy that there was no way I was going to have a baby and have us not be married. Now, there were some rumors going around about the married couple. There are rumors saying that they had an open marriage and also that Jaden Pickett was having an affair with Mark Anthony. But in 2013 of April, Jaden Pickett Smith actually decided to speak out. And she said, I quote, I always told Will, her husband, you can do whatever you want as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and be okay. Because at the end of the day, Will is his own man. I'm here as his partner, but he is his own man. He has to decide who he wants to be, and that's not for me to decide for him or vice versa. Now, on the Red Table Talk episode in 2018, the couple actually did open up and say that in 2011 they did break up. And they were explaining what actually happened that caused for them to break up. So they said that it started at Jada's 40th birthday when Will Smith actually hired Mary J. Blige to perform and put together a video about Jada lineage. But Jada was not happy about it. On the Red Table Talk episode, Will Smith said, I quote, she's like, it's my birthday, and she told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego. And he said he was crushed, right? And to this day, I know I was crushed because it was true. It wasn't a party for her when she called me on that. That's when I snapped, and that's the only time you ever heard me snap. I snapped in front of Willow, their daughter, and Willow started crying. And she's like, just figure it out. Will Smith also continued to add, and he said, our marriage wasn't working. We could no longer pretend. We were both miserable, and clearly something had to change. Now, people really start paying more attention to the married couple, especially in 2020 when August Alsina decided to come out and say that he had a romantic relationship with Jada Pickett Smith. So in June 2020, August Alsina actually had an interview in the Breakfast Club, and allegedly He said he had a relationship with Jada for years and that Will Smith approved of the affair. He said in an interview, I quote, I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they have spoken on several times. The singer allegedly says that Will gave him his blessings. So before the singer actually came out and said that, he was actually throwing a little bit of hints that he had a relationship with the actress in his music video that he made back in 2019 in April. He made a song doing the remix off of Kalani's song Nunya. In the music video, he actually is texting this girl named Corin, which is actually Jaden Pinkett Smith's middle name. In the song, he says, You got me feeling like it was a act. You're just a actress putting on a show because you don't want the world to know that you lost a man who loved you all along. Baby, couldn't we just let it go? Now in 2020 of July, he also released another song named Entanglement, featured with Rick Ross. So I'm going to go over some of the lyrics in the song. So there are some lyrics, and a piece of it said, You just want a, then he used the N word, that's going to break your back in half. No, I ain't about to play with that. You left your man to, then he dropped the F bomb, with me just to pay him back. Don't you know that's cold hearted? It's another part of the song where he says, I'm going to pull up when he dip. He always think me and you, then he used the F bomb again. If he see me, he gonna trip. Let's be low key. Girl, I know I use the F bomb again. Up your hair, lay you down and hit it right there. Then he also continued by saying in the song, That ain't my girl, but I got the key to the crib and to your car. So now I'm just going to go into a little bit more depth about the actress and the singer relationship. So they first met in 2015 at the Wireless Festival in London, England. Jada actually met August through her son Jaden. Jaden and the singer were actually friends. According to Jaden Pickett Smith, she became real close to the singer when he was actually dealing with his battle with a genetic liver disease. They started to build a emotional connection. But then it led to them becoming more romantic with each other. Jada Pinkett Smith also had him on her show Red Table Talk in 2018, July, where August Alsina was actually talking about his struggles with addiction. After all this came out to the media, Jada Pinkett Smith decided to invite her husband, Will Smith, on her show, Red Table Talk, so they can discuss it. And she actually admitted that she and the singer were more than friends. She explained that her relationship with the singer, August Alsina, actually became more romantic when her and Will Smith were separated. She said, I quote, About 4.5 years ago, I started a friendship with August. We actually became really, really good friends. It all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health and his mental state. She continued by saying to Will, You and I were going through a very difficult time. And she also said, I was done with your A, basically, in other words, but. She also said, Yeah, you kicked me to the curb. And she continued by saying that she was in a lot of pain at the time and broken. And that's when she actually got into a different kind of entanglement with Alcina. But once the two started spending more time with each other, Jada Pinkett Smith said that she realized she wanted to be with her husband again. And then she told the singer, and August Alsina decided to break off any communication with her. And she said that she hasn't spoken to the singer ever since. Now, in the NBC News primetime special, Jada Pinkett Smith was actually interviewed by Hoda Kotb, and the woman actually said to Jada that it looked like Smith was being humiliated in that moment. And Jada actually said that, I know, she said, but it wasn't intentional and that Smith wanted to be on the show that day. And Will Smith was already aware of the relationship that she had with August Alsina. So, with all this out about the married couple, it doesn't really get any better for them, especially when it comes to 2022 at the Oscars. When Will Smith decided to slap Chris Rock after Chris Rock made a joke about Jada, Chris Rock actually made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith bald hairstyle and said she was starting a sequel to G.I. Jane. Just to let anyone know, Jada Pinkett Smith suffered from alopecia, which is an autoimmune condition that causes people to lose their hair. After Chris Rock made the joke, Jada Pinkett Smith just rolled her eyes. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith told Hoda Kotb that, I quote, I was thinking about everyone else that has alopecia and suffers from alopecia and shame. And so I rolled my eyes like, here we go again. But Will Smith didn't think it was funny. Will Smith decided to go on stage and slap Chris Rock. And then Will Smith yelled, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Jada said that when that moment happened, she didn't realize that Will had actually slapped Chris Rock because of her view. She said that Will Smith was blocking it off to where she really couldn't see what was in front of her. She said, I quote, from where I'm sitting, it doesn't look like Will actually made contact with Chris. So I'm thinking Chris flipped it. Oh, this is interesting. She also continued by saying that she didn't really realize what happened until her husband publicist told the couple that Chris Rock will not be pressing charges. Jada also added that everything finally sunk in and she made the decision to stand by her husband's side. She also said, I'm like, all right. And then I click in, I'm like, you know what? I go straight into Jada mode. We're going to get through this. This is going to be a firestorm. I got you. After the whole incident, Will Smith did apologize to Chris Rock. Will Smith posted a video on Instagram and he said, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. In June of 2022, Jada actually talked about the incident on her show, Red Table Talk, and she said that she hopes that Smith and Rock will have the opportunity to heal and talk this out and reconcile. She also continued by saying, the state of the world today, we need them both, and we all actually need one another more than ever. Until then, Will and I are continuing to do what we have done for the last 28 years, and that's keep figuring out this thing called life together. Now, recently in October, Jada actually said that her and Will have been separated since 2016. When asked why they never shared this news with the public, Jada said, I quote, it came down to just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us how to be in partnership. In regards to how do we present that to people, we hadn't figured that out. She also said there were a lot of things that caused her marriage to crumble. She also added, by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of just still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be. She also said that she has considered a legal divorce, but she just never been able to exactly go through with it. She also said, I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And she continued by saying, I just haven't been able to break that promise. But Jada did not stop there. She also said that the night at the Oscars, when her husband slapped Chris Rock and said, keep my wife's name out your mouth, she said that she was actually surprised that Will called her his wife because they haven't been calling each other husband and wife for a very long time. But she also said that Chris Rock actually asked her out on a date because he thought that her and Will was going to get a divorce. Jada said, I quote, so he called me and basically was like, I love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? I was like, no, Chris, those are just rumors. He was appalled and he profusely apologized, and that was that. Now, Chris Rock has not came out and commented on Jada's claim. So now I will just give my opinion on all this. And I'm going to start off by talking about the singer August Alsina because number one, he was wrong for even speaking out about that and making a song about it. I understand that you're an artist and you can make songs about whatever you want, but at the same time, it was too explicit for me, in my opinion. Like honestly, she should have had him sign an NDA. Honestly, she should have. Cause I felt like that was just wrong. Like for him to expose her like that just because he trying to make a comeback because he been gone for some years. And I feel like because a lot of people forgot about him and he needed to promote his album. So he talked about her. And I just felt like that was wrong. And then on top of that, aren't you and Jaden Smith supposed to be friends? And he talking about the stuff you was doing with his mom? No. Like honestly, to even mess with your own child friend, nah, that's nasty. But I also didn't like how in the song he called her cold hearted. But to me, I mean, you decided to sleep with a married woman, so you're no better. And I just feel like when it comes to certain things like marriage problems, there's just certain things that don't have to be public. Honestly, that I feel like that should have just been kept between them. He shouldn't have went public about it. Another thing that I will talk about is the fact that they actually been separated, living in different homes since 2016. So I'm actually shocked by that. And the fact that she said that her and Will have not been calling each other husband and wife for a very long time. I understand that Will Smith don't believe in divorce, but the fact that they've been having issues for that long, I mean, what exactly is it that you mean to tell me as a couple you can't work out? Because they also said in 2011, they actually broke up. So I'm thinking to myself, if you mean to tell me we've been having issues since 2016, even though before that they broke up, what exactly is it? Yes, people have issues. You face their challenges in relationships, but it shouldn't last for this long. In my opinion, it just shouldn't last this long. Something is not right with this picture. Like, you mean to tell me y'all just haven't figured it out what's going on? I just think that's crazy. I do think there's more to it that, they're probably not saying, and that's fine because, in my opinion, it is their marriage. And you don't want everybody in your business. But I also do think it's weird that when it came to the Oscars and Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, even though like they actually been separated, I was thinking that was actually like it was actually crazy because in my head, if we're actually living in two different households and somebody make a joke about you, I'm not going on stage to smack that person when we really not even together. So I don't know. I don't. I have no idea what was going on in Will Smith's head, but I just thought that was crazy when she said that they haven't even called each other husband and wife for a very long time. So I'm like, okay, I don't really know what to think about this. All I know is I do think, in my opinion, I do think that Will, I think he loves her more than she loves him. I just feel like when a love is gone, I'm sorry, it's gone. I just hope that either they work it out, but honestly, I really don't think they are because of how long they've been living in two separate households and the fact that y'all not even calling each other husband and wife. Yeah, I'm not even trying to be funny. I think it's over. But I hope that one of them at least have the courage to just, file for a divorce. Even though Will Smith don't believe in divorce, I understand that. But you can't stay somewhere where you're really not happy. Because I think it will most definitely put a toll on you. And it's just not healthy. But another thing is that I think it's weird how she said Chris Rock actually asked her on a date. I think that's a little weird because I'm trying to think to myself, why did he make a joke about her hair? It don't make sense to me. Like, I don't know. He hasn't came out and said anything about it, so are saying that they think Jada is lying to promote her book when she said that her and Will Smith haven't, called each other husband and wife in years, and also they've lived in a separate households since 2016. Some people are like, okay, wait a minute, this not adding up then. Like, why did he slap Chris Rock? It's not adding up, and it's really not. But hey, if it's a lie, she told it. If it's true, it's true. Honestly. But just to let everybody know that her book Worthy will be out on October the 17th. And it's basically a woman's journey to finding herself again. She is basically going to be talking about her childhood and also her rise in fame and being a wife and a mother, and also her battles with suicidal depression, spiritual healing, and also self acceptance. That is all for today. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to my podcast. I hope you all have a lovely day.